Are they going to uphold Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message of worshiping Him and Him alone, and doing good by their environment and doing good by the people? Or are they going to spend their time and their energy and effort in disbelief? And everyone knows statues are a sign of disbelief. And everybody knows, are you going to protect the land or are you going to destroy the land? And when you do that, what happens to you? This is a great example of a people who were given a test, and when they had all the resources and they had everything good to do it and they had ease, they didn't uphold Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's message. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did this with them. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Halima and Khadija?
Yeah.
This is exactly how we're going to study U.S. history. We're going to look at U.S. history as, here's this place. Here's this place that we live in today. It has a history. It started off a certain place. It started off with certain conditions. The landscape looked a certain way. The people that lived here looked a certain way. They lived a certain way. And it went through changes. And all these changes, everything that we were given came from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How did we interact with the bounties and blessings and hardships that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the landscape and the people that lived here? And what was the outcome of those things? How did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala deal with them, with the people that lived in this area? Okay, that's how we're going to look at U.S. history.
Okay.
So, do you guys have any questions?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I want to read to you guys real quick an ayah from the Quran. It's from Surah Al-Nahl. It's the bees, and it's ayah 112, and it basically supports what we're talking about here. It says, "Now God puts forth this parable of a town," parable meaning example. "It was secure and peaceable. Its provision," which means it's what they're eating and supporting themselves with, "would come to it in plenty from every locale. Then it belied God's own blessings upon it by worshiping false gods. Thus God gave it a touch of the garment of hunger and fear for what they had wrought. For truly there had come to them a messenger from among themselves, but they belied him. Thus the torment seized them suddenly, for they were indeed wrongdoers, godless in heart." So you could see these people, what do they end up saying? They end up seeing these statues, and what happens? They end up disbelieving to begin with. And then disbelief almost comes so naturally to them. Because when the Europeans ask, how do these statues get there? They say, oh, they must have walked there themselves. And they become a point of glorification, and they become like gods. Because they themselves couldn't understand how their society could have gotten these statues there. So do you see how disbelief starts off as a choice and then almost becomes impossible for them to understand anything else? And they become isolated, so no one could come into the island and no one could leave. And so they get trapped in this system of disbelief. So inshallah, when we study U.S. history, this is exactly how we're going to study it. We're going to study, here was the land, here were the people. Where did it start off? What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give them? What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala test them with? And then how do they react to that test? Whether it's a test of abundance or whether it's a test of hardship. How do they react to it? How do they deal with it? And then what are the consequences of their actions? That's how we're going to study history, inshallah, U.S. history in this class.
Okay.
Does that make sense, inshallah, to you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, inshallah. Last week I had asked you guys to write down some certain, just 3 things. If you couldn't think of 3, you could just have 1. I want you guys to email me and submit to me what those 3 things are that you want to learn more about, because we are not going to have time now to get to it. But you guys were extremely patient. I really appreciate it. Inshallah, we'll resume class on Thursday, and we'll begin with our first lesson. You don't have to come with anything, no homework. We'll do another reading together, inshallah, and answer some questions. Does that sound good, Halima and Khadija?
Yeah.
Okay, Halima, did you like the first class? I know you weren't here last week, and I'm so happy for you to join this week. I was so honored.
Yeah, I liked it.
Okay, alhamdulillah. I know this doesn't seem like it had anything to do with youth history, but basically what I want you guys to understand is the way we're going to study history in this class is very different than how most people study history in regular schools. So it's good for you to have this now, and it's a very good story to learn too, and it's a very good lesson to have.
Okay.
Okay, inshallah. So next week, inshallah, we're gonna read another story. It's about a people that lived in North America, and we're gonna study them, and we're gonna talk about what this means.
Okay.
Sounds good? Okay, so I'm waiting to get an email from you both about what you observed last week that you want to learn.
Okay.
more about. Okay? Inshallah, and then
Alright.
email me if you have any questions. I'll be checking my email, and I'll talk to you guys
Okay.
later, inshallah. Okay.
Okay.
All right, Ramadan Mubarak, and use your Ramadan time wisely, and don't think that the only learning that's happening is in this classroom, inshallah.
Okay.
Okay, then. I'll talk to you guys later. All right, wa alaikum salam.